welcome. We're super excited to have you here in our podcast and extremely grateful for you to be here. I know we pick out of 46, we pick you guys, and your audience actually pick you. So let's start. We're just gonna start just reading the rules of the game. And what I want you to do, just take a couple of seconds to read the rules.
Ooh, a couple seconds. It's 2 pages.
So basically, who the winner will win, of course, a spot in our podcast as a sponsor for a month and a half, and then, of course, the first deal from our office.
I gotta sing karaoke. Jeez.
Oh, man.
I did not prepare.
Oh, boy.
Seconds to answer each question. If you take too long, the host will get denied. Okay. The BS challenge. If someone thinks you're lying. BS,
Oh, I got a good one for that, for a red flag.
No safe answers allowed. If your answer is boring or too corporate. If your answer is boring or too corporate, the audience can boo. If you get booed, guys say, wait, mortgage karaoke, the wrong answer.
I love to see your faces. Your faces.
This was not what I expected at all.
Nope. Thank God there's no DTI.
Let's perform quick mortgage themed karaoke rendition of a famous song set with lots of puns. Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna be running out of time because we just finished the first speaker. It took us longer. Okay, so let's start. Why don't you guys introduce yourself? You're gonna say how many years you've been in the company, your name, your company name, how many deals you have closed, and also, which is important, your phone number. But at the end, you have to say, "Do not call me." Okay. So let's start with Mr. Fernando Ospina. Yeah.
First and foremost, thank you for having me. Fernando Ospina with Altera Home Loans. I've been there now 5 or 6 years. In terms of volume, I kind of hang around the 50 million mark for the last couple of years. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Phone number?
973-975-7947. Do not call me.
So.
Claudia Nogan. I am the branch manager for the Miracle Mortgage team at MLB Residential Mortgage. I've been with MLB for over 3 years. My production is in the $30 million range right now.
Amazing.
My phone number is 908-386-2232. And don't call me, just text. It's easier.
I love
That's
that.
very true. Landy Garcia, area manager with Annie Mac Home Mortgage. I've been with Annie Mac for 13 years. Production is about $50 million a year personally.
Wow.
And 908-553-5404. Maybe you can call. No, don't call me.
Don't call me. Okay, great. Are we ready? Say yes?
Yes.
Say yes. Okay, I love it. Okay. So, guys, time is super important. So, you got 30 seconds to respond. Okay. So, we just go to my right first. Okay. And then we'll move on. And we have to change something during the game. We will do that.
Okay.
Once again, the winner will win a sponsorship in our website, also our podcast, and also our social media for a month and a half, and then the first client from our company. Yes? Say yes?
Sounds
great.
Yes, I love it. Okay, first question. What is the fastest loan you have ever closed?
The fastest loan I've ever closed was 8 business days.
Okay, next.
Same. 8 business days.
It's a 3-way tie, 8 business days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What were we doing, copy and paste? Or?
Well, no, seven is the fastest you can do by rest.
Correct. So you got to wait for that
It
8.
was like 1 day for the application.
You need 8.
Okay. So now the next question, you need to go to details, okay?
Yeah.
What is the longest nightmare deal that almost made you quit?
This week?
In your entire career or this week?
No, so the longest deal is probably 4 months in the making.
And what happened?
Basically, qualified to not qualified, lost a job, got a new job. Hours were inconsistent, union worker, just multiple circumstances that just dragged the deal out so long that it was part of my life. And many days I wanted to just deny the loan and move on. But it closed.
Okay, very good. So before I forget, with the first question, everybody got a point. If you give us a boring question or something that...
A boring answer, you mean?
A boring answer? I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's my English. Thank you for helping me out.
It's not English.
No. So if for any reason you give us a wrong answer, we're going to take away a point from you, okay? Okay, very good. So next.
It's probably right around the 4 to 5 month mark. Change of job, going from salary to hourly, which then causes all kinds of new verifications of employment and ensuring there's consistency in the 40 hours. A missed car payment in the midst of it, needing to do a credit rescore to get the credit back up to where they would qualify. I mean, yeah, that was a lot of wine involved with that.
I think it's all very similar for us. I think you're taught as a lender very early on to pre-qualify as best you can, get as much details. Yeah. But you can only take it so far without actually underwriting the file. So as you're going through the process and you're gathering those famous conditions, every time the client you is bringing a condition, you get something new. Oh, I didn't know about that, or you didn't tell me about this, or we spoke about this and you didn't mention it. Yeah. And then the DTI keeps changing and the deal gets more and more complicated and it gets more layered. And it lengthens the process. So we've had plenty of those, and they close, but without some new gray hairs.
Okay, so now I'm not gonna give everyone a point because you have to be very specific with a client that you had the worst nightmare deal. That is like you say, okay, after this, I'm quitting. After this, I'm not doing loans anymore. It's like real estate agents, right? Sometimes it's like, this is enough. I'm just quitting. And I believe that happened to me a couple of times already. My husband, he wants me to stay home. He doesn't want me to do what I do, but I love what I do. But we have, as a realtors, we have so many crazy deals. Like the day of the closing, they want to cancel. They got into a divorce situation, so many things. So I'm not going to give a point right now, but I want you to be super energetic, super funny with the next question. Yes?
We're going to try.
Okay.
Okay. So if you were to explain a mortgage to a 5-year-old, how would you do it?
Oh, wow. I should have some time for that one.
Yeah.
If I were to explain the mortgage business to a 5-year-old, I would say it's like, wow, that's tough.
It is tough.
Okay, you lose a point.
Okay.
Oh, it's a minus. There's minus. There's minus. You don't gain a point. You also lose a point.
Is my 30 seconds up?
Of course.
Okay. All right.
Go
ahead.
Yeah. Fernando.
I think to a 5-year-old, you let them know that you're going to be in this probably longer than most marriages. And you're going to borrow some money, and it's going to take you a long, long time to pay it back. But you get to live in your beautiful home.
Okay. Good.
That was pretty good.
Claudia?
That was pretty good.
I had a 30-second head start. Thanks, Landy, for being...
Shit, I better do good. I'm at a minute ahead. I think the best way to explain it to them is that, like, whenever, you're borrowing something from me, I'm giving you something, and in order for you to be able to live in it and to have it, you're going to have to share with me something else. So if it's a toy that you're going to have to share with me, if it's a piece of your snack that you're going to have to share with me, you're going to have to keep sharing it until you've given me enough that is going to be equivalent to what I gave you.
Okay.
Great. You went to the sharing.
You like that?
I like that.
Okay, next question.
You don't leave me hanging?
Oh, my bad. I look like a sore loser there, didn't I?
Well, you don't leave me hanging.
So, what is the most outrageous income source a client has claimed to get the loan approved? You go first. 30 seconds.
I had a woman who came to me who was OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. I love that.
That's legitimate income.
I understand, but she didn't want to tell me where the income was coming from at first. She just said she was in the entertainment industry.
Oh, okay.
She didn't explain.
Right. The details.
Until we started getting the...
Next.
Outrageous income that's been tried to use for qualifying is cash income from sports betting, like from...
Proceeds
from gambling.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Next.
And this was 2018 for me, so you have to rewind the clock a little bit and know what the laws were like back then. But the first time I saw it, I was blown away. It was income from the marijuana business.
Oh.
And I was like, that's a first for me. So there was a lot of calls with underwriting, and it had just started coming around, and we got the deal closed, but there was a lot of calls back and forth to HUD.
Wow. Well, you guys each get a point. I love the stories. Landy, you get a minus.
I'm at 0 now?
No.
You're at 1.
Okay, next question. What is the most insane thing an underwriter had ever questioned on a file? You go first.
If we talk about insane, there's just some, and I love you all underwriters. If you're watching this, forgive me. But sometimes you feel, as an originator, it's your job to see income everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes to us, it looks so basic and so clear cut. And an underwriter just, if a client misses 2-3 hours of a work week, they want to call it variable income or something like that. So there's a lot of back and forth debate as to what's variable and what's steady income or fixed hours. Mm-hmm. So something like that. Client missed 3 hours of work and they called it variable income.
Okay, very good. Claudia?
It's tough because this is actually something that happens to us constantly. There isn't any one file that I could think of other than it just like Fernando said, it's a constant to have an underwriter say something as silly as somebody not being at work for an hour or two and taking comp time or something like that, and they consider that variable, especially for somebody who's been at the job for years and years. And it becomes really silly for us to then try and prove something that really, how do you prove it?
Yeah. So for me, the outrageous part of underwriting is the letters of explanation.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That people need to dive into their personal circumstances of like, where does this $300 deposit come from in your bank statement?
Yeah.
Anything related to things that are just discretionary from the underwriter. But letters of explanation to me really have no substance in the file. You can, sorry, underwriters, but you can make up whatever to satisfy the condition. Absolutely. It has no bearing on the borrower's ability to
It's good knowing that though we're all at different banks, we all go through the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
I love that. So you get a point. Next question. Okay, it's getting spicy, so get ready.
All right.
If you could eliminate one part of the mortgage process forever, what it would be? Let's start with Landy.
Wow, that's a tough one.
3, 2,
no.
20, 19, 18, 16.
Yeah, I don't think I have an answer for that.
Oh my God, you're gonna get a point taken
That's okay
away?
because I don't. While there's things that are frustrating, I'm gonna be corny here. I think every part is necessary to understand whether we can lend money or not. But I don't know that there's a true part that needs to be eliminated.
Well, there could be a desire for wanting to eliminate certain underwriters.
Well, we were talking human beings.
Certain underwriters and underwriting restrictions. However, understanding that they are a necessary evil, and I don't mean that in any way, shape, or form. You are amazing.
We love you.
Please. We love you. Approve my loan. But I think that common sense would be very welcome. Added. Yes,
Not
would be
eliminated,
very welcome to be as an
it.
add-on.
Wow, I love
Sometimes
that.
it's better to just add a little something.
Exactly. Fernando?
Yeah, I'm going to give you 2 because following up on that, if it's a crazy world and I can get rid of anything, I want to be the ultimate decision maker on all files, get rid of underwriting. I know whether or not these people are going to pay.
I like this guy. Approved.
You know what? You're good to go.
He's good.
But because she said underwriting already, the more serious answer to me would be to get rid of the TRID timelines. I want to close the deal quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if I don't have to wait 3 days in the front, 3 days in the back, 1 day after disclosures, we can do it a lot quicker than 8 days most of the time. But sometimes the regulations limit us to timelines.
That's a really good answer because back in the day, TRID wasn't a thing. Right? You didn't have to have a closing disclosure be sent out 3 days in advance and wait 7 days, et cetera. Like we can close deals faster. So
I love that.
Kudos to give them 2 points for that one.
2 points. I'm going to take them.
Okay, next. What is the worst text you received from a borrower? You go first.
The worst text? The worst text is they're going with somebody else. That's the worst one.
I know.
But I mean, really, that's the worst thing that can happen is that they chose to work with somebody else.
Right.
So what did I miss? What didn't I deliver on? What could I have done better? So then all of a sudden it becomes that analysis.
And it happens to you often?
No, thank God. But it does happen. And when it happens, it hurts because you're like, well, I feel like I've done the right thing and I've supported you in the right way and I've educated you. But sometimes it does happen, unfortunately, you know.
Landy?
For me, the worst text is when that I've received is from, a couple where, wife is 8 months pregnant. Things are being delayed because of a multitude of reasons. When for me, it gets really difficult because I see the human aspect of people. So when they're going through a difficult situation, emotionally handling a transaction, we do this every day, so it's second nature to us. But for real people, when they get emotional and like my wife can't sleep, she's gonna have this baby early because of this process, things like that are challenging to deal with.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna give you a specific example, and I'll preface it by saying it was very early in my career. Husband and wife team come into the office, and we're doing a lot of disclosures in their documents, and we're talking about the file, and we pull credit, and of course, unbeknownst to me, there's child support on the husband's credit report, and wife didn't know. And I mentioned, well, what about the child support? And the look on the wife's face instantly, you knew, like, and then I was like, oh man, I probably messed this up. They left, they didn't say anything. They stayed calm in the office, and by the end of the night, I got a bunch of mother effing texts, and you ruined my marriage, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh my God.
And that was a rough text for me.
You won the point. You won.
That was a rough text for me.
Fernando, you won.
I get an advantage of a minute.
Next.
It's a good story, though.
That is.
Describe the difference between a good borrower and wrong now borrower in 3 words.
Cool.
You go first.
Wrong now borrower. Unemployed, too much credit debt. That's 4 words, 5 words, but unemployed and too much credit debt. Wrong now.
Next.
Somebody that doesn't have no realistic expectation or unrealistic expectation.
Someone with a larger budget than, well, it's similar to what you're saying, but just unfit from an expectation standpoint to what their budget will allow. That's a lot more.
And it happens a lot.
Oh.
Well, in
time.
this market, it's a daily process to bring people from here to their wish to what their reality is.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
So it is a challenge to have those conversations too with your clients?
I don't think that it's a challenge. I think that it's conversations that, I mean, I believe you guys are, I know I'm accustomed to having as well. You have to set the expectation for that client. And one of the most important questions that I think I ask a client anytime we speak is, do you have a comfortable monthly payment in mind? I don't ask them what their budget is. I ask them what's comfortable.
Right.
Correct.
Because a budget is one thing, a comfortable number is another. And they need to be comfortable with whatever they're putting out because they still have to pay for groceries, pay for gas, pay for all the utilities, and they need to live.
Forget about what you're approved for. And this is the corniest analogy that I've been using it forever. Once you drive a Porsche, the Mercedes is going to be terrible to you, right? If your budget is for a Mercedes, the payment for the Mercedes is great. Let's go look at Mercedes.
Right.
Right? Once you go there, it's hard to go back, right? So our job, is always to say, listen, play within this field.
Play in this arena. This is your sandbox.
Exactly, and you'll win there.
So you each get a point. Yay! I don't see no excitement. Oh my God!
I think we're all mentally prepping for the next question.
Oh God, what's coming?
What's coming next? What's coming next?
I'm behind. I need some points. Is there a 3-pointer?
This is gonna be a basketball.
This is not basketball.
Okay.
It's overtime.
3. It can't be basketball.
Okay, so if you have to bet money on one of the lenders in this room to win a loan approval challenge, who it will be and who will lose first?
Oof.
Let's go with Landy.
Well, I'm going to bet on myself.
No,
Thank you.
That's the right move.
No, you can't.
So, okay, so not yourself.
No, you can't.
You can't?
No.
I would go with Fernando only because I know his process. I know Claudia's great as well. I don't know her process.
But you didn't pick me.
Yeah, but just based
I
on
was going to pick you, but forget that.
Now Fernando wins.
He's blushing. Well, I was going to pick him, but now I got to pick him because
Oh man,
that's the way it goes.
Revenge.
No,
let her finish. So
No, honestly, I think all of us said this, and when we walked in the room, each of us has a tremendous amount of respect for each other, and I know that both of these gentlemen can get the job done. Doesn't take away from me to say that and my abilities and my team's ability at all. I think they're both
you
amazing.
have to pick one.
No, I said I'm going to pick him because he didn't pick me. So my answer still stands. It's still going to be him.
Giving you a little
I'm
bit.
just giving you a little something because if I got 30 seconds, I'm going to use it.
Fernando.
For me, the question, and again, Claudia, you're fantastic. You know where this is going.
Sure.
Yeah, but I say it because I've had the pleasure of working with Landy in the past, or especially early on in my career, I would call him up and be like, hey, I got the scenario. What do I do? What do I do there? And he would walk me through it, even if we were at different banks.
Yeah.
So kudos, tremendous respect. He knows how I feel about him. And he has saved a deal or two for me in the past because I either missed something or the underwriter caught something or whatever the case may be. So, yes, I know he can get the job done.
Perfect.
And
So Fernando won.
guys, it's it.
like that?
You need a 3-pointer at this point. You need a 3-pointer.
I just want to be in the game.
Okay, so next question. If a client goes to you for weeks, then they came back begging you to close as soon as possible, what is the first thing that you say to them? You go first.
I'm hitting you with an eighth.
CFPB.
Just kidding.
You can't say that.
CFPB is the funder, right?
Letting out all the secrets.
No. I want to find out.
not gonna leave.
The honest answer is I want to find out what happened, what changed. The file, especially in weeks, can change drastically. So I hold no grudges, clients. But yeah.
I love the answer. Claudia.
I same thing. I want to find out what happened. Why are you coming to me now? Were you somewhere else? And if you were, what happened? Did they tell you you no longer qualify, or did something happen in the process itself? Because I need to know the full story in order to make it happen and then make up the time that I lost.
Right. Wow. Next.
Yeah, so for me, files that come from somewhere else are the easiest files because you can pinpoint what the other bank may have missed. Not necessarily made a mistake, but may have caught that now you have to immediately learn how to circumvent. So I just jump right into action. Like, okay, let's try and meet the goal. Let's try to get it done.
I know we're on a timeline,
So
but
you don't get upset. Yeah.
we're on a timeline, but real quick on that. Typically, a client starts with you, leaves. If this happened, if a client starts with you, then leaves, then comes back. In that leave time, they talk to another lender. And they're back. So that other lender, for whatever reason, couldn't close it. Round 2, you whoop out that magnifying glass. And there is something in this deal that's going to complicate it because if they had gone to see somebody else, they would have closed it.
So
now
why
they're
do you
back.
think they go to see somebody else?
It could be any number of reasons either.
Yeah.
Some clients are fickle. I missed a phone call. Oh, I don't want to deal with this guy. I'm going to go to somebody else. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So who gets the point? Everybody. That's so. Te falta puntos.
I'm here. I'm in the game.
Hanging. I'm good.
Okay. If you could approve any celebrity loan, who that would be and why? You
Celebrity loan?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm a huge baseball guy, and Juan Soto just signed an $800 million deal. So I'm
my
taking
Think
that
he
one.
needs a loan?
So I'm taking that one. And it's gonna. I'm gonna close it in no time. Can
What's
you?
his name?
Juan Soto. He's a
Juan Soto.
yeah.
Juan Soto, if you want him, please.
a very
reach out
easy deal to
us.
close, I imagine.
Claudia's got him on the asset depletion already.
Like, come on, asset depletion. That's easy.
Good.
$800 million contract.
Yeah,
He
we're
qualifies. He's good.
So Juan Soto, as a matter of fact, Juan Soto called me yesterday.
Speak it into existence, girl. Speak it into existence.
Listen, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna find this girl with this man, whatever it takes to find him.
You
Next.
can do it. Geez, if there's any one person that I would want to qualify and work with, This is actually a tough question. You know what? I'll go with my man crush, Chris Hemsworth, just because I want to talk to him. I'll go. It's okay, baby. I love you.
Go.
I'd like to see.
Don't tell me Beyonce or.
No. I'd like to see J.Lo's bank statement.
You want to see
J.Lo?
J.Lo's
Bank statement. The bank statement. You know what I mean? The business portfolio.
Sure.
See, I was just curious. You can probably pay cash, but I'd like to underwrite that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think this point, Landy won the point. He's being hilarious. I love that. So you get the point.
It's laughter. Laughter is the key.
Of course. The most funny answer is the best. Okay. What is the craziest deal saving you have moved at the last minute? You have pulled at the last minute. Let's start with you.
So the question is, what?
What is the craziest deal saving move?
Oh, so deal saving move.
You have pulled at the last minute.
Compliantly, of course.
I was like, I don't want to answer this one. I might just forego the point here.
I don't want the point. Take too long. Adding a co-borrower to a lot of people sounds like it's just easy. But adding a co-borrower 4 days before closing and getting that through the process is something that's not easy to do. I do see myself having to do that often.
Really?
In a high price climate like we are, the inventory issues being what they are, and prices being so elevated, and the demographic that we work in isn't necessarily affluent. So that seems impossible, and we do it often.
Next.
Working with a political asylum client, and I had my underwriter, so they no longer had a renewed employment card, but I had their original asylum letter, and there was one word in that asylum letter, and the word was if. And it said that if there was an expiration of the employment card, that this letter would then override. And the underwriter did not want to accept it. Wow. And I went back and fought it. I'm pulling out like definitions of the word if, and I'm fighting it. I got it. We closed. Wow. But that was one of the...
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because that's discretionary.
It's discretionary. Yeah. But I fought it. Got it.
Thanks.
I don't know that I pulled it, but it was a little bit of luck. Client was short to close a significant amount of money. We were on a TOE, so time of essence. We were running out of time on the deal, and 24 hours before the deal is set to expire, the federal government dropped its tax return right in there, and we had just enough to close. Yeah, so very lucky.
Great. And let me ask you something. I think the point goes to Claudia, because I think
it was a specific answer. Yeah.
Yes.
Was that fresh? Was that like last week?
No, unfortunately, it was not. That was a deal years ago, and to this day, I still work with that agent.
Every time we see if,
I'm like if. I'm like, there's an if.
Let me ask you something, Landy. Now that you say adding the co-borrower before closing, you don't find out prior that they need a co-borrower?
Sometimes you don't. Yeah. Sometimes you don't. So many examples were said here today. Like if you have a verification of employment come back with average income coming in lower, anything that may have changed throughout the process can disqualify a borrower. The challenge, and it happens a lot, again, depending on the demographic that you're dealing with, when you have low to moderate income borrowers, they're barely qualifying as it is, right? So the wind blows one day and that's it. They don't qualify. And, we deal with it often because there's a lot of disappointment and despair that sets in. It's like, everything was fine. What happened now?
Yeah.
Right. All right, well, this is what happened.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I do, because just to piggyback on that, you have something as simple as getting in the final tax certificate. And the taxes for the property, which only comes in a few days before closing.
Correct.
All of a sudden is a couple $100 more because
homeowners insurance has been
horrible.
In the last 18 months.
And all of a sudden you've got a 56 back-end DTI borrower that's just barely qualifying, and all of a sudden you've got a couple $100.
It's going to be windy on Wednesday. Let's close Thursday.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they may not qualify.
You have to.
Right.
Those things are the things that do cause you to
Scramble.
Scramble, add a co-borrower, buy down rate to make the numbers work. There's so many things that you have to just think on your feet and move quick.
Fernando?
Clearly, I'm scarred by it, but title searches or LQIs where you get surprised by child support. Like, hey, no one disclosed it, and all of a sudden title's back, or there's a lien on them, or whatever the case may be. All those things can throw your situation out of whack, where you're going to need to add somebody last minute and scramble and redisclose and everything else that comes with that mess.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Okay. This is a hard one, so get ready. Who is the realtor that you're not going to work ever in your life again? We're in a podcast, so we have to be honest. Ooh. You go next. You go first.
I'm going to disappoint you on this one. I'm going to pass.
You're going to pass? If you pass...
-1.
You
2 points.
You can -2. That's cool.
I know. It's you can't tell me, like, you can't say, who are you not... Okay, since...
Let me...
So if you want to...
Let me just add a little bit of flavor to that. Because I think at some point in our career, we're imperfect, right? We've made a mistake.
Course.
Yeah.
And this business is about relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I've been given the grace to get a second opportunity where I haven't been my best self and for whatever reason.
But there's always a realtor that keeps making the same mistake over and over and over again. And
that hasn't been my experience. I have dealt with, difficult agents. But I can't say if they called me up and said, look, here's an opportunity for us to work together. I don't have anyone that I can say I can't ever work with that person again. That's just
it's the same thing. It's like I can't give you a name because it's not going to be a name, but I will tell you that I 100% would not work with an agent that I know is not being honest with their clients, that isn't doing what's right by them. At the end of the day,
do you know anybody who is?
I do, but I can't do that. I can't do that because I got to eat.
Right? You got 15 kids. 15 kids at the house right now waiting for pizza.
I see this as an opportunity to get 100 points, and I'm going to take it. But I'm going to take it on a technicality. Samantha Sanchez, she retired. She's no longer an agent. And I will never work with her again because she is off in Florida enjoing life.
2 points. Oh, my God.
Listen, the ones where he goes last, he's got... He got a minute. He got a minute. That's good. Okay. I lost more points because I got very political about that. Very compliant.
Okay. So now, next question. If a realtor send you a deal at 10 p.m. on Friday night, what is your response? You go first.
This is unfair because I know the answer for all three of them because I've seen them do it. We're all taking it and we're all going to respond. And I know I've texted.
At 10 p.m.?
I've had texts at 1 a.m.
Really?
Boop, 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 boop. And you take a look and you're like, all right, let's get to work. You don't, especially in this climate, you don't turn deals down. No. If they come, you
100%. Agree with that answer.
You take the deal. I personally, my phone doesn't come to bed with me. My phone stays in my office. So they can text me all they want at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll get back to them at 5 a.m. But I
think that's the expectation anyway.
Yeah. I know, but I'm up at 5. I'll text you back
but the question specifically, it says...
If somebody texts me at 10,
what is your response?
I'm like, what's going on?
Okay. But you just say that you put your phone away. So you
I
don't
do when I go to bed.
Oh, okay.
When I go to bed, I put my phone away.
So if I get a text at 10 p.m., I will respond and schedule a time to meet, to speak to that client ASAP.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think Lim has yelled at me a few times about how I just respond automatically. We were out to lunch one time and I got a text and I picked up the phone and man, I felt like I was being scolded by my mom. She was like, "What in the world are you doing? Put the phone down." I was like, "All right, you're right.
Stop working." But then she asked these type of questions.
This is what I think. If we're having a conversation or a lunch, I think you have to be present, right?
You're right.
And I know he was super busy because he's always busy. And we were having a conversation. I was like, I'm about to leave. He's like, stop.
Yeah.
So
lesson learned.
And I love that. Thank you. Okay, so everybody gets a point, but Fernando is ahead of the game because of the 2 points that he got. Okay, so next question. Have you ever massaged numbers, legally, of course, just to make the deal work?
Massage what numbers?
Like the final numbers for the closing.
Like give lender credits and things like that to make.
So I think 100%. That's what we do.
to.
We're masseuses professionally from a numbers.
Because sometimes you have to get out of your commission to make the deal happen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the nice guy credit, the save the deal credit, is standard for
all of us.
For all of us. I think that you can't disappoint. Obviously, the customers come first, right? They're $1,000 short, $1,500 short, whatever the numbers are. There's always a way to try and make it work, obviously for the benefit of the customer and obviously for the relationship with the agent.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that you have to do.
Right.
I'm not going to take somebody through the entire process and they're a couple $100 short or $1,000 and all of a sudden I'm going to go, too bad, so sad, figure it out.
Right.
You can't do it.
Landy mentioned the best. We're all professional masseuses when it comes to numbers, and it's not just at the end. I think all loan officers are trained to squeeze as much as they can out of that income and kind of follow the number the entire way through up until closing. Like you guys said, if you have to give a lender credit or you have to make the deal work somehow, there's so many people involved in the transaction, attorneys, title, realtor, lender, client, that you're not going to let it go for a couple bucks.
No.
Okay, great. Did I give out the point?
Not yet, but we should.
Yet.
Two for Fernando.
Add a few more right there. That's good.
I'm massaging numbers. That's all I'm doing. Two for Fernando.
I'm going to kick you.
Okay. What is something buyer believe about loans that is completely false? You go first.
They think that it's up to me whether or not they're going to get approved for a loan. And it's not up to me. It's up to me to paint a really pretty picture for the underwriter and to do it in such a way that it's clear and they don't ask me a ton more questions.
Okay, good.
I'm
sorry. This one, if you get not the wrong answer, but the most boring answer, you have to sing karaoke. Okay. So we're just gonna vote.
So that everyone gets the same rate.
Yeah.
What are rates? What is the rate? Right. What people don't understand is that interest rates are how the bank determines risks. Right. That's basically how they code you. Your interest rate is as unique to you as your social security number. Right. There's debt to income. How much debt you have compared to your income, how much you're putting down, your credit score, all of those factors determine the interest rate. So that's one thing that is common, like, oh, rates are 5.99, and everyone assumes that they get the same rate.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing clients believe about loans that's false is that they're easy. Loans are one of the most complicated things that you can get involved with. It's a 30-year commitment, typically a 30-year commitment, and there's nothing easy about it. It's a conversation that with your loan officer who is representing a bank, who has an underwriter behind it asking for a million things. So when there's a lot of back and forth, they're wondering, well, why are you asking me this? Or why do you want to see my bank statements? Or why do I have to go back 2 months? And there's nothing easy about a loan because of the risk involved. Would you lend somebody $700,000 just here? No questions asked.
Nice guy.
You wouldn't. So it's a lengthy, complicated process that requires a lot of communication. Typically, first-time home buyers don't expect that. Almost the invasion of privacy. Like, I need to know what this is, because my underwriter will ask.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you all have the right question, so you're not gonna sing yet.
Okay.
Point. So let's be real. How many times you always wanted to tell a borrower you are not ready to buy a home? You first.
Yeah, zero. And I'll tell you, and I know it may seem like you want it, but to me, we're all trained to find a deal. There's so many products out there. There's so many programs. And what in terms of not ready is what, a year, 2 years? No, it's step one of being ready.
Right.
So, okay, this is the first thing you need to go do, which is part of being ready. So I don't say you're not ready to buy a home because that'll turn them off. Like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. I've heard that I wasn't supposed to buy a home and this guy just confirmed it. So that does not happen.
And I get those a lot. I just spoke with a lender. I say, I'm not ready to buy a home. And I tell them, listen, let's figure out. I'm not a lender, but let me connect you with a lender who is going to help you out. Yeah. So what's your answer?
It's never no. It's never a no. It's maybe a not right now, but it's never a no.
Right.
I mean, I've worked with clients for 2-3 years to get them ready to buy a house, from taking them from being a DoorDash and Uber driver to going out and finding a W-2 job to like just working on credit, working on putting savings aside. We just closed somebody recently where his mom lived in Rhode Island and the mom moved to New Jersey, and we wound up buying a 2-family house for this client so that his mom could move to New Jersey, and she's moving in with him because she was by herself up there. And I did. I had to take him from being Uber and DoorDash to him trying to get a job on Amazon, getting a job offer, not getting the job, then going and getting a job at the post office, and like just doing all of those different things to get him there. And it did. It took over 2 years to get him to that point.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same answer. We have to find a path.
Yeah.
Right. So my calendar is full of follow up 6 months, a year and a half, when people meet that mark of whether it be employment or we set them on a path to repair their credit. We're always trying to find the deal.
Yeah.
Right.
Great answers. Okay, so we're gonna be doing now a round of red flags. Okay. So you just have to be very quick with it. Okay. And red flag from borrowers that they do. So I'm gonna start with my right, and whoever is the funniest is gonna win 2 points, and whoever loses is gonna have to sing Selena como la flor. Okay.
I don't know the song.
So what's the question?
No, red flags with your borrowers. Like, what did they, whenever they were gonna get approved, what are the things that they do wrong, or to get pre-qualified? I don't know if I'm asking the right question.
So basically, things that you see when you're. Because we're going to be timed, so I just want to make sure I understand the context of this. So when you're already in the process of pre-approving, red flags that you see,
exactly.
or things
red
that
flag that you see while you're getting a pre-approval.
So red flags, child support that isn't mentioned. I know I stole that one, Fernando. Multiple inquiries on the credit report.
Okay, next.
One that just happened to us recently was a client literally gave us a handwritten letter stating that it was a job offer letter for a new job with him making over $100,000. And he goes, "This is what I just got from the new company I'm going to be working for." And it was like, absolute BS.
It's a red flag on
we're
fire.
we're going to figure that one out.
For me, it was a phony bank statement, and it was so egregious that the numbers and the deposits were all enormous, and then the balance was his actual balance, which was like $4.32. And I was like, you just added to you forgot to finish. Great work up top, the bottom, and you have to complete.
I love that. Oh
We've had that.
Fernando, you got a point. So you guys have to sing any song.
Don't look at me.
You're gonna have to edit this out.
I promise. I'll tell no one I saw this.
You're not gonna see it.
Hold on, BS.
Ready, set, go.
I can't sing.
Well, como la flor, Selena.
Go ahead and take the points off.
Well, I don't know the song. Whatever.
Let me sing. I'm pretty sure you have a good memory. So I'm gonna start. Como la flor. Con tanto amor
me diste tú.
Se marchito. Me marcho hoy.
I'll just go.
No,
you
pero
don't know.
Como me duele.
We sang. Good
I don't know
man.
the song, man. I'll sing something else.
Okay.
How'd that sound?
Not bad.
Not as bad as you think.
Not as bad as you
We're in a
think.
soundproof room.
You're good. Thank God.
Might have to do something else. You know?
Okay, so another red flag. So let's be a little bit. I love the story.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the most amazing.
Yeah,
And listen, when I was doing auctions, and I was new doing working with buyers, I did get a lot of those. Like they were trying to fake a bank statement, but you could tell, like the quality of the numbers or the color of the copy was ridiculous.
Yeah, most people aren't graphic designers. It's not going to be a thing. They're going to mess up.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, let's go. Where am I? Okay. Describe the feeling on getting a clear to close in one word. One word. You go first.
Relief.
Satisfaction.
Adrenaline.
Everybody gets a point. Okay. Which is the best realtor that you love to work with? Let's go with you first.
Lim Bances.
I mean, I think any other answer is wrong.
At this point, we kind of have to, right?
I love it.
Are we sponsoring this again?
I got to go first. You guys got a minute to think about this. You got a minute to think about it.
I don't even think we had to have 20 seconds. That's what we got to do. We got to say Lim. We're standing here with Lim. No. Yeah. Honestly, I feel very, very blessed to be sitting here with you guys and to have worked with you in the past.
Thank you.
So it's always wonderful.
So what was the answer? Who is the
Lim Bances?
I
didn't get Botox. Mine still moved. I don't got Botox. Mine move.
And Claudia, now that you mentioned, I think we know each other for many, many years.
We have.
And I remember one point that I was with a company, and I will never forget this moment.
Yeah.
You came. We were in a conference room.
Yeah.
And you came to me and you tell me, listen, anything that you need. I know you're new here. I don't know if you remember this moment. I'm not gonna cry, but it was difficult time for me because the way that I started this business, I couldn't go speak English. And there was a lot of haters out there. And now that they see that we're making it happen, everybody wants to work with us. But they were not there the time that, we started. We were having so many problems, so many issues, and a lot of people just turned their back on us.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember you saying that, listen, Lim, I know you're new in the business. Anything that you need, it doesn't have to be work-related. I'm here for you. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Because God put everyone together for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have Fernando, Landy, you guys, because it's great to work with people that they really care for you. Mm-hmm. It's not just based on the money or how much business you bring in them. It's great to have people that they do have good hearts. And I'm super blessed that God is putting me together with the right people. Mm-hmm. And if you're not the right people, he just immediately takes them away. And I seen it happen. And it's crazy. And every time that he removed a person out of my life, he's like, okay, God, I get you. It was a reason. And he's always right. So thank you for that. I want to mention that little thing because I really appreciate everything that you said that day.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's move on. Don't cry.
I was getting choked up.
Eyes are sweating.
Okay. So okay. So yeah.
So
the realtor that you love.
Lim Bances, of course. There's no other answer.
You go any other way, it's -2 again.
Exactly. I'm already in the hole.
Jeopardy negative 200.
Oh
we're going to be in a deficit
like,
here,
Landy,
man.
you even show up and got no points.
Okay. Why do you think, and we're about to finish because I think we're running out of time.
A hot seat.
Okay. So I'm going to start with you, Fernando. Why do you think you have to be the king of lending and be the champion of this battle?
I'm going to give you the textbook answer, the proper answer, which is as king of lending, that means you're impacting a lot of lives on all fronts. You're putting a lot of people in homes. You're helping a lot of realtors hit their numbers. You're doing yourself well. You're doing the title agents well. So you're helping a ton of people. Mm-hmm. The other side of that is, and I think you'll find this in a lot of the top producers in our industry, is you can't turn off that competitive drive. Like I will compete in anything, and I will not stop until I'm sitting up top. So I always say that the worst position to be in is number one in a company because you're not chasing anything.
Right.
So I have to love winning. I have to hate losing. And to me, it's both those answers, right? On one front, the side answer is you get to impact and change a lot of lives for the better. The personal answer is I'm as competitive as it can be. And King of Lending is a great title. I might change my Instagram handle. King of Lending.
I love that answer. Claudia?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go from Miracle Loan Officer to
the queen.
To the queen
of lending.
The queen of lending. I think just like Fernando said, I think we have an innate need to not just meet, but to exceed whatever your numbers were the previous year, no matter how challenging the market is.
Right.
That's always the goal. but numbers are just numbers. It's not about the numbers. It's about helping Edwin and his mom. That, it's about helping people get into a house that they didn't think they'd be able to get into. Listen, I moved to this country. I was 13 years old. I didn't speak a word of English. And I saw my parents struggle. I saw our family come over, all of us living in one apartment, and then how we all just kind of went off and started doing our own thing and become successful in our own rights. So to me, what I do every day is helping people that many of them emulate that exact same story for them to become and to achieve that home ownership goal. And what that can do for them, not just for them from a financial standpoint, but for the whole family, the stability that it brings. And yes, homeowners have much greater net worth than somebody who's renting.
Right.
So to see what that can do for their lives and how life-changing that can be, that's
the
what
motivation.
drives me.
Yeah, that's the motivation. Similar story. My parents were immigrants and came to this country to work very hard, and I remember the challenges and how they scrimped and saved to buy their first house, and the people that they were dealing with, and how some of them were predatory and not necessarily doing the right thing. So a lot of what I think about when things, deals are difficult, or I run into a family that isn't ready right now and we have to set them on the path, I'm reminded of that very frequently, because it's about the people. Yes, we're competitive. This business allows us to do things for our family and expand into different horizons simply because of how many people you can touch in the network that you can create. So yes, we want to do more and more numbers, but at the end, what's synonymous across this table is that we want to help families, right? Because those were our families at some point.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm going to be counting the numbers here. And
I'll count for you guys. I volunteer to tally.
No, thank you. That's funny.
Next time I'm going last on every question.
That's the advantage of sitting with, see? I'm like,
I went first on the Lim question.
The most difficult one.
That was the layup.
The most difficult question, right?
Okay, so for Claudia, we have 15. Give it up for Claudia.
All right, Claudia.
Thank you.
For Landy, we got 13.
Okay. That's my birthday. May 13th. That was on purpose. I did that purpose.
And we have the winner, Fernando, 18. Yeah.
All right.
How the heck did he get so many? Are you sure you counted that right? Maybe the math isn't mathing.
So guys,
she massaged the numbers.
She massaged the numbers.
It's okay. It's been a blessing to have you here. I really appreciate the opportunity to, to get together, to enjoy some time, because at the end of the day, we're friends, right?
Yeah,
at the end of the day, we could collaborate in the future. We could collaborate now, which is important, but I'm going to keep you in mind to bring you in the office and for you to be part of our family. So thank you so much. Anything that you want to say?
No, humbled to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. Lucky enough to work with you and your group for some time now, and looking forward to a great 2025.
Yes.
Say yes.
Say yes.
The same. I feel very blessed to be sitting in this room, surrounded by you and these amazing gentlemen, and I'm very proud to be here, and I'm very grateful for what's to come. And 2025 is going to be an amazing year for all of us.
Amen.
Amen. Right?
Same, synonymous. Thankful to be here. Grateful for the opportunity. And a quick message to all the realtors out there. I know how challenging the market is. So if you're making it in this market, congratulations. Cause
Rarefied air.
Yeah, you are in some rarefied air. So keep up the great work.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yay.